So today we're talking about the warm-up.
Yeah.
And I think this is a sweet topic.
Favorite part of the workout.
Is now, right? And this is a funny one because you picked this because I know how much you love warming up.
That's why. This is me explaining to myself why I need to start warming up again.
Right? To convince yourself, like, hey, yeah. And this is something I've even played with a little bit more and more in depth, like limiting into the warm up, doing longer warm ups, doing medium warm ups, not warming up, kind of like seeing like what dynamics present better in different aspects of the workout. Like, when I'm strength training, should I do this, do this? I've played so much in my warm ups to kind of get a feel for things.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think this is an important thing to discuss because this is also a big area where a lot of people lack intentionality.
Yes.
It's like, oh, the warm up, and they're just like, yay.
Yep.
And for some workouts that can be okay.
Absolutely.
But other workouts that can be detrimental to performance and even injury.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is a cool topic because there's tons of ways you can go about it. But diving into just the warm-up itself, it's obviously us getting prepared for the action that's to come, right?
Yeah, and that's the whole point of what I wanted to go over today really is how to use the warm-up as a tool to maximize your performance and to maximize the results that you're getting from the gym, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody comes into the gym because they want to do X, Y, and Z. Look better, feel better, perform better, whatever it is. The warm-up can really be used as a supplemental tool to get you those results faster. Mm-hmm. And like you said, the warm-up is one of the areas where it's very easy to screw around, to kind of like just go through the motion,
skip a couple reps,
skip it, and just to get to the workout.
Yeah.
And or we see a lot of moaning and groaning because, we're doing burpees in the warm-up, but we got burpees in the workout. I don't want to waste any reps. But I get it, dude. I say the same stuff. I have the same thoughts in my head. So that's why we wanted to give a little bit more of the knowledge of why warming up is truly purposeful and how to make it intentional so that you can get the benefits that you want.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's really it. So I took a bunch of notes. I don't forget. But really, like you talked about, like long warm-ups, medium warm-ups, short warm-ups, whatever. A good rule of thumb is, especially for CrossFit and this style of workouts that we do, the shorter or more intense the workout, so more intense could be heavier, faster, more complex. The shorter or the more intense the workout, the longer the warm-up should be. The longer the workout is, did I say that right? Did I say workout?
Yes.
The longer the workout is, the shorter the warm-up should be.
Yeah.
And the reason for it is if we're doing a really short, high-intense workout, like we need to get our bodies ready for that. Mentally, physically, range of all of that stuff.
Yeah.
If we're doing a really heavy workout, obviously we need to get our bodies ready for that. If we're doing something with really high complex movements, handstand push-ups, muscle ups, playing with a new skill that's outside of our current capacity, we need to get our body ready for that. If we're doing a really long workout, likely what that means is the intensity is going to drop down a little bit. So you could, if it's a 45-minute AMRAP, you can use the first 5 or 10 minutes as a little extra warm-up. You don't need to take as long to build and ramp yourself up, right? So that's a very, very general rule of thumb. But let's start with some of the basic things that a warm-up will do and the ways that it can increase your performance and get you ready outside of what people might normally think. So a couple that I have wrote down, you already touched on. The purpose of a warm-up is to increase performance, decrease your injury, and maximize the results. So how does it do that, right? Number one is it's going to increase our body's temperature, the core temperature. It's called warm-up.
For a reason.
You have to get a sweat. You have to actually get your body warm.
Yeah. And there's a number I don't know why I remember this number, and it's ridiculous, but in XPhys, exercise physiology, I took a class in college that covered, the fundamentals and the science behind things. And the grand scheme of things is the ideal body temperature is to get your body up to 104 degrees before you actually perform some type of intense exercise.
That's cool.
So it's a weird number. I don't know why it sticks with me, but not saying you have to take a thermometer and be like 140.
Stick it in your muscles.
But the idea there is you should be mostly sweating at that point, or very warm. You should kind of feel like you've been doing some work and getting everything primed up. That's, again, warming up. You should feel warm.
Yeah, and the reason why is a couple things. Number one, as you warm up, you're going to start to circulate more blood through your body. We can get nutrients and we can get oxygen to our muscles through the blood flow. So we increase blood flow, we're going to increase nutrients and oxygen to our muscles, our heart, our lungs, which again are going to be used for the workout. It's also going to increase the elasticity of your muscles, which is going to decrease your risk of injury, right? If you take a rubber band and you freeze it and it's cold and you go to pull it, it's going to snap.
Yeah.
If you have a nice, hot, warm rubber band sitting in your truck all day, that thing is really going to stretch. Our muscles act the same way. The warmer we get them, the more elasticity they're going to have, the more they're going to like be forgiven during movements.
Yeah.
The colder they are, you go right into something, that's when you're going to, pull a hand. We've all seen videos like old guys trying to sprint and pull a hamstring. Like, probably didn't warm up very good.
Yeah.
Their hamstrings weren't ready for that.
And I like to use like the reference of like getting out of bed. Like no one just like gets right out of bed and just like starts doing everything. You kind of like sit up a little bit, kind of move around
that's the same
a little
reason.
bit. Yeah, just because you're sedentary. It's like you don't just go from 0 to 100. There's something you have to prime up, especially when it comes to exercise, because it's like you're loading these things. You're adding something to it that you don't normally do, so your body has to prime in some type of way.
Yep. The couple other things is, same thing, the 0 to 100, like the heart rate.
Yeah.
Part of warming up is that you want to get your heart rate up before the workout starts.
Yeah.
You don't want the workout to be the first time that your heart rate skyrockets. So we want to slowly increase our heart rate over the course of the warm-up to the point that we're a little bit out of breath. And then we can take a few minutes, come back down, and then we hit the workout. The first time your body, your heart rate shoots up, your body goes into a little bit of a shock.
Yeah.
And it's like, what is going on? It goes into survival mode. I don't like this. Abort mission at all costs. We want to get that out of the way. So that doesn't happen in the workout. When that happens in the workout, our workouts suffer. Again, performance goes down. You have to take more breaks in what you might need, thus getting, either a worse score or not getting as much work in, which is not going to get you the results that you want.
Right.
So we really want to increase the heart rate.
And that's a weird one too, because like I like to use the reference like again like when you're just like there was a moment it was when I was in school. We had this big field day. We had kids outside and they were chasing me with water balloons. I was sprinting around, but I didn't like warm up or anything. I just run around having fun. But I felt like I was more out of breath, more like winded, more like just tired compared to like when I can sit in here for 2 hours. I can row, I can bike, I can do all these things, keep my heart rate at a very high elevated rate. But just the fact that I went from like zero to 100 and I was just like running around sprinting, I was like, it like winded me way more just because I wasn't primed up in that like heart rate sense. Like to go from a 50 all the way up to a 160, your body's gonna be like whoa, you gotta chill out for a second. It's a lot for your body to take when it comes to stress.
That's what happens a lot if people just kind of screw around in the warm-ups and we have like conditioning in there, but they don't go very hard, and then they go to start the workout in the first 3 minutes. Hell, like, well, you probably should have got your heart rate up a little bit higher during the warm-up. That's part of the warm-up.
Right. And I think even another good parallel is looking at like the load versus capacity. The idea of your load is all the stress. So like when you start to put all the stress on your body, you have to, again, it's going to demand greater stress if you go from like 0 to this. Now that stress is greater, and this starts to get into that injury aspect of things. Like if you go from not squatting to back squatting 405.
Just to put it all on there.
Now that stress is greater than what it could have been if you warmed up with a couple sets, primed up your hips, whatever it is. So there's also like that connection in that sense of things.
Yeah, and that's a really good lead into the last big piece for me and for performance athletes is priming your CNS, central nervous system. This is like after the generic warm-up, before the workout, our specific warm-up. This is that time to really prime your body for what's to come. Like, and when we say CNS, we mean like your spine and your brain. So physically prime your body to be able to handle a 405-pound back squat. Yeah. Like 400 pounds is 400 pounds, but it feels a lot different if I load the bar right now and go to do it versus if I go general warm-up, empty bar, 135, 220. It's a big difference. If I just throw it on there, 405 is probably heavy enough I'd fail without a warm-up. But if I warm up, I know I can hit it. It's like, well, it's the same weight, so what changed? What changed is my CNS is ready for it. My body is ready for it. And my mind is ready for it. So priming your CNS is also preparing yourself mentally for the work that's going to come, for the pain, the suffering that's going to come. That's a big part of it. Like if you're mentally prepared for what's whatever weight you're going to do in the workout, whatever option you're choosing for burpees, if you do the thing a few times before you have to do it in the workout, you're going to be more likely to do it and sustain it rather than the first time you touch, 400, 135, a 35-pound kettlebell, whatever it is. The first time you touch it in the workout, that's a problem. That's a bad. So that's a good litmus test is anything that you do in a workout, you should at least do a couple before the workout starts. Before the workout starts. And priming yourself mentally will, again, also increase your performance. And I talk with people a lot about this who are kind of dealing with some little nagging, I don't want to say injuries, but pain.
Pain, right, agitation, yeah.
And they're like, man, I can come in here and do whatever I want in the gym and it doesn't hurt. But when I'm at home doing these like seemingly silly tasks, I feel it. A lot of that is because when you're in the gym, you do a proper warm-up, which allows your body to loosen up, increase the range of motion, get the muscles elasticity up so we can use it pain-free. When you're at home and you just go to turn the steering wheel or you go to push the thing up overhead or pull the dog back, whatever, that muscle hurts because it's not primed and it's not ready. So a warm-up can be a missing link between being able to do something pain-free and not.
Right.
So it's a big deal in my opinion.
No, absolutely. And there's just so much you can do with a warm-up too.
Yes.
That's the other thing is like a lot of people are like, and going back to like you mentioned, like some people are like, well, I'm fatiguing myself, I'm getting tired, and it's like no, you're not.
No, you're not.
No, you're not.
It feels like you are.
Yeah.
Because you're going from, again, cold to warm. Like it's the first time your body's doing this thing. So it feels like, yes, oh, I'm getting out of breath. Oh, I'm fatigued.
Yeah.
I understand. It feels like you are, but your performance is actually going to improve.
Exactly. And I use this all the time when I lift. I feel the best when I lift heavy after I do Metcons. So after I've done a 20-minute, 30-minute, it could be a 45-minute, it does not, I'll be the strongest I've ever felt lifting.
Yeah.
Because I've just warmed up and I'm primed for starting to load like that. And so, but that just goes to show it's like, it's not fatigue. Yes, I'm sure you're accumulating some type of fatigue, but it's not enough to deter your performance unless you are warming up for some reason with just like...
Yeah, if you're just going ham.
Yeah, but if you're warming up properly and you've had this structure, and you're moving through the movements with attention, and you're warming your body and getting it loosened up and getting it through the range of motions, all the things that are to come in the workouts and all the things... you're going to be a little tired, but once you get a little break, set yourself up and go that workout, you're not going to notice a single dang thing that's changed.
No,
you're going to probably feel the best you ever felt.
Yeah.
And I noticed that when it comes like to bike sprints as well. It's like,
you'll
do
big
some
time.
Yeah, you'll do primer rounds. People are like, oh, well, I'm going to do it in the workout for 8 rounds. It's like, yeah, but if you do it now, when you go to do it in that first round, you're not going to keel over off that bike. You're going to go in that next round feeling a little bit better. In that third round feeling great. In the fourth round, you might hit the wall by 6th round, but at that point, that's your physical limitation. You've warmed up properly where now you're hitting what you need to hit, not petering out after 1 round because I didn't warm up properly. Round 2, I'm suffering. Round 3, I hate my life. Round 4, I want to quit.
Yeah, and that's a good example of like the more intense the workout, the more you need to warm up, right?
Yeah.
If we're doing like a 30-minute max cal bike test, you don't need to warm up a ton because your pace isn't going to be that high. If we're doing intervals where it's like 20 seconds of devilish maximum effort, bleed through your nose type of effort, then you better freaking warm up for it, or it's just not going to be good.
Yeah.
If you don't believe me, we can let's test it.
Right.
Do a workout like Karen. 150 wall balls for time.
Oh, yeah. That's a good
Come
one.
in, don't do any single warm-up, and just go for 150 reps. See what your time is. Couple days, couple weeks later, whatever, do a full warm-up. Do a couple minutes of some aerobic work. Do a little bit of like mobility, flexibility work. Do 3 sets of 10 wall balls. Like, oh, but I'm taking away my reps of the workout. Just trust me. Do 3 sets of 10 wall balls, unbroken. Take a 3 to 5 minute break, and then go do Karen and see what your time is. It's going to be a lot better.
Yeah,
a lot better. It's just, again, we're beating a dead horse, but you're prepared. Like mentally, physically, physiology, like inside, like your cells, your muscles are prepared for it.
Yeah,
it's not just like things are happening inside your body that you don't even know or that you can't control. that are going to improve by you warming up. Like I said, the elasticity of the muscles, oxygen and nutrients going to your muscles, like those are things that warming up is going to do for you, whether you want to or not.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
And that's where, like, taking a warm-up, like, I'm not saying we got to sit here and be freaking serious during warm-ups. Like, that's a time to have some fun.
Right.
But there should be some intentionality to it. Like, when we're doing Spider-Man stretches, don't just kind of go through it. Like, sink down, get a little twist in there, really feel what's supposed to be stretching. Same thing if we're doing, banded good mornings. Don't just flop over and stand up. Like, work on good posture, really push your hips back, squeeze your glutes when you stand, and make sure that the things that we are stretching or priming or working are getting stretched, primed, and worked instead of just kind of going through the motions.
Yeah. And I agree. That's like the big thing is too, is the warm up, you're not getting your heart rate super high. Like it's elevating slowly as you move, but it's still a time to talk. Like, hey, how are you doing?
For sure.
And you can work, stretches, move at the same time. And that's something I see, especially in the group class setting, but even in open gym, there's some people that will just kind of like skip it and go right to it.
Dude, I'm guilty of it sometimes. Every time I do it, I regret it. I feel like crap. The movements are challenging. Like, my mobility sucks. I can feel my body working extra hard, and my heart rate's through the roof. And it's like, man, I should have warmed up more. When I was at that seminar in Colorado, we did one of the strength pieces we did was like build up to a heavy clean. In our warm up, like some stretching, some very basic, cyclical, get on the row or the bike, the ski or whatever. After that, we did a CNS primer. And it was like what most people would consider a workout. Dude, I was sweating. I was huffing and puffing. I was like, this is going to be the worst power clean session of the best my power cleans have ever felt. Like, our warm-up was, I'm trying to think if it was I think it was 5 rounds. It was 5 rounds of 3 heavy muscle cleans, 3, 6, 9. 3 heavy muscle cleans, 6 seated box jumps, 9 calories on the assault bike at a maximum effort. Like 5 rounds of that.
Yeah, that's. And
then that was our primer just to get into the power clean. Man, best it's ever felt. 315. Like, my max is only like 335 years ago. 315 was butter. Like, I could have kept going.
Yeah.
And it was the only thing that was different was I primed my body for that instead of what I usually do, which is just like, get a barbell, do some elbow rotations, and then just start building up.
Yeah.
Like, it felt so much better.
It really, yeah.
And honestly, it starts promoting like recovery. Like, if you warm up good, you're going to be able to recover quicker after workouts than if you just hit it cold and your body's in a state of WTF.
Right. And that's like that stress aspect is like when you're not warming up, you are placing a greater stress on your body because your body's not prepared. And so like your recovery could be impaired. Where to the point it could either cause injury or you're just going to feel like dog doo-doo. It's like, wow, my hamstrings are just so freaking tight. Like I can't, well, how did you warm up? How do you feel? Like there's many variables that can go into that, but that recovery aspect, you could feel like dog doo-doo right after that workout. Like,
big time.
Wow, what's going on? It's
big
like,
time.
So it's very important.
Yeah. So that's some of the benefits of warming up and why you should warm up and what happens when you warm up to, again, improve, like maximize your results, improve your performance, decrease risk of injury. So for someone that's looking at like, all right, man, now like lay it out for me. How should I warm up? In my opinion, this is what I like to do. This is how we try to program for class. We're a little bit limited with a 1-hour session. But if I were to tell someone to like warm up, here's what I would say. Start with 3 to 5 minutes of some like cyclical aerobic work.
Yeah. That's my favorite thing to do.
Yeah, dude, like hop on a bike, hop on a rower, hop on the skier, go for a walk or a jog. Like just 3 to 5 minutes of just light condition, light cardio. Like that's going to get the heart rate up, get the blood flowing, that kind of stuff. From there, go into your dynamic mobility, openers, we'll call it, stuff like that. So this is going to be our alternating Spider-Mans, our bootstrappers, PVC pass-throughs, things that are just meant to increase range of motion. Like we're not really priming the muscles yet. We're working on specific joints that we want to open up and get their full range of motion. That can be based on 1, what the workout is, or 2, more specifically, what you are limited in. If you know you have poor shoulder mobility, T-spine mobility, hip mobility, that's the time where you take to really open up those areas. And there's a million different, shoulder distractions, foam roller stuff, like a bunch of different ways.
Right. You can go
But
down the
get the
rabbit
heart
hole.
rate up, get moving for 3 to 5 minutes, then start to work on a little bit of dynamic mobility. I like dynamic mobility because there's a lot of studies on like the passive stretching before a workout isn't the route we want to go. We don't want to just stretch the muscles. We want to get really deep into the joints. After we do that, then is where we want to get into some light exercises to start priming the body for the workout. So this is what we call our specific warm-up. Like if we're doing cleans, let's start doing some light barbell cleans, or let's start doing some body weight, some push-ups, some ring rows, some banded pull-aparts, banded good mornings, things that aren't necessarily like flexibility, mobility focused, but more of now we're going to work the muscles. Now we're going to get the joints and muscles, tendons, ligaments primed, moving, and ready to go. And then we'll build to our workout weight, our workout option, our workout modification, whatever
Whatever it is, yeah.
So I really look at warm-ups in a very, very simple sense, a 3-step approach.
Yeah.
Get moving a little bit, 3 to 5 minutes. Get your joints opened up. Get the muscles and the body primed for action.
Yeah. No, I think that's
And
like
it's really
perfect.
simple.
Yeah. And again, the customization to it or how you approach it can be different to everybody. It just really does depend on the individual and like what you feel, how you feel, what things are going on with your body. But no, I think that's like a perfect way to describe it. That general warm up is just getting things fired up just a little bit, going through the ranges of motions of things, just kind of getting things moving. And I love, people will moan, but I love starting every workout with cardio.
Yeah.
Just because
warm up.
Every warm up, every cardio, but every warm up with cardio, just because again, it's just something to get the blood flowing a little bit.
You have to.
If you sit at a desk job all day and you come in here to just hop into like a warm up, just like start moving all these movements, it's not gonna feel really good. So it's nice to kind of get the blood moving a little bit, and then come from there, you start to go through like the range of motions, and then you're starting to feel better and better and better.
And that like I've noticed that's the time where I start to get mentally ready for a workout. Like I mean, dude, workouts are hard.
Yeah,
it's kind of the point. So like, it's like, oh, man, like especially days I don't want to work out. When there's days I'm like, I just don't feel like doing it. I get my ass on a bike. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna pedal for 2 minutes. Every 30 seconds, I'm gonna go a little bit faster. By the time I get off the bike, like I'm ready to go. I'm like, all right, man, I'm in it now. My heart rate's going. Like I'm sweating a little bit. Now I'm gonna get into my other stuff. But like that's the time where it sets the tone for the workout.
It really does.
It gives me that couple minutes to like zone out, zone in, and get focused.
I've had the same thing. It's like there's times where, man, I'm so sore. Oh, I just don't feel good today. Or whatever it is, I'll hop on the bike, and as soon as I get going, I'm like, all right, let's go do it. Yeah,
I'm good.
So there is that part to it as well. But yeah, I think you explained that very well and laid it out. I think that's a really good, just general like prescription for warming up.
Yeah, that
Absolutely.
3-step approach is super simple and effective. And if you guys need like ideas, if you're open gym goers, or even if someone listens to this that doesn't come to this gym, if you need ideas on like warm up exercises, let us know.
Yeah,
come in. We can do like that's where a flexibility and mobility assessment or a strength and balance assessment is really beneficial, because it can start to build out warm ups that are customized to you, so you're not wasting your freaking time.
Yeah.
Like if you don't have a flexibility problem, then you don't need to be stretching. Like maybe you need to spend more time priming the muscles and less time stretching. If you're already super flexible, like don't waste your time stretching.
Yeah,
That's
more
not
stretching,
what you need. More stretching is like, unless you just enjoy it, or for cool down, it's great. But like as you're warming up, if you can just come in and like do the freaking splits, just chill on the freaking hip stretches, bro. Like you got the range of motion.
Yeah.
Let's work on more, maybe stability, maybe isometric holds, maybe whatever it might be. But
no, I think
up.
Yeah, warm up, and I think there's another point you added there, and there's someone you told this to, is use those warm ups to have intentionality in the fact to increase flexibility and mobility in those things.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of people that like, it's like, well, I can't lift my hand this hard. It's like, well, okay, well, use our warm ups
during the warm up.
Yeah,
that's the
like
that's a good point. If you have a flexibility limitation or issue or struggle with some different ranges of motion, like that's the time to work on it. Not in the middle of a workout when your heart rate's 270.
Yeah.
You're about to black out.
Right.
Like, I'm going to try to go full range of motion now.
Yeah.
Like, no, man, do that stuff in the warm-up and or the cool-down.
Yeah.
Like, that's the time to really work on that stuff. It's
No,
huge.
absolutely.
Huge.
But
Cool, I'm going to go warm up now.
yeah, I'm getting ready to go warm up.
No, but yeah, man, I figured it'd be an important topic to give everybody a little bit more education of why, I mean, obviously why we do warm-ups, but how to do them and what's going on to, again, increase performance, decrease risk of injury, and maximize your results that you want to get from a gym.
Yeah, and I think it's important to bring more light to it because it can be an easy area to go like, oh, it's just a warm-up.
For sure.
And but it's important to kind of also be like, hey, I do need to do this. I can have a little fun, chit-chat, and do that, but I need to make sure I move my body the way it needs to be primed up for the workout to come. So.
Yep, especially like the older you get.
Yeah. Yeah,
You better,
I notice it every year. It
you
gets
better
worse.
warm up. You're just gonna feel like a bag of dog poo-poo.
Right. It feels super tight and rough.
Yep.
But yeah, absolutely. Right on. Anything else to add to warm-ups?
That's it, man.
All right.
Warm up, work out, cool down.
I like it.
Get the F out of here.
Nice. Thanks for tuning in for this episode. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for future episodes to come.